Well, welcome to week 7 at Nathbet.com. Sorry I haven't had a shave this week. I've been celebrating Europe's triumph in the Ryder Cup. It was an awesome 3 days, especially watching it here on American soil. If you got on Europe at 7-4, congratulations. Give yourselves a pat on the back. And also give yourself a double pat on the back if you won our double last week. I said it was a strong one, and that it proved. It came in very, very easily. 3-1 double. We put 3 points on that, giving us 9 points profit. Unfortunately, the treble was foiled at the very last minute. I say the last minute, it was actually the 92nd minute when Burnley conceded an equaliser. But that's how it goes. We get back on it this week. Some weeks are easier than others to predict. This week's a little bit trickier. However, we think we found a couple of gems for you. We go back to our original 2-point staking plan for the double this week, and both of the games are actually in the Championship. We start off with a manager who I admire very much, Ian Holloway at Blackpool. He's done a great job, and the fact that when they went up, they didn't spend too much money. Those parachute payments, as they've gone down back into the Championship, looks to have helped them out a lot. And I fully expect them to go back up into the Premier League this year. They're scoring plenty of goals, and they had a really good win over Hull in midweek. They entertained Charlton, who were struggling under Chris Powell, as they would do in the Championship after their promotion last year. They'll be happy with survival. However, I don't think they're going to get anything this weekend. Blackpool are full of goals, like I said, and I just think they're going to be too much for Charlton. Even when they don't score, they've got the likes of Kevin Phillips to come off the bench, and normally he scores when he does come on. Blackpool are available at 8-11, and that's the first bet in our daily double, our banker double, whatever you want to call it. They're available, like I say, at 8-11. The second man and the second manager who I admire, and he's in the Championship as well, is Leeds United and Neil Warnock. They face Barnsley, Yorkshire derby. Barnsley, obviously all the teams in the Championship played in midweek, so there's no tiredness there as such for one team and not the other. Everybody's going to be equally, maybe not 100%. And I just think Leeds at home at Elland Road, they had a really good result in midweek. Okay, they drew 2-2 at Bolton, but they were ahead twice in the game. They looked strong. I just think that a Yorkshire derby, okay, sometimes those can end in draws, and it can be a little bit big tackles going in here and there, but I just think they'll have too much quality. They score goals as well. I expect them to be in the playoffs come the end of the season. Leeds 5-6 to beat Barnsley is my second bet. Blackpool and Leeds, that gives us just over a 2-1 double this week. I'm going back to 2 points recommendation this week, just because I don't think the fixtures are 100% as easy to predict as like I say, weeks gone by. I'm still confident about this one though. I think it'll come in 2.06-1 with Paddy Power, but readily available at 2-1 with most bookmakers. Okay, the treble, like I say, Blackpool, strong bet. We're going to include them in the treble as well to beat Charlton, along with one of the sides who are riding high, Everton. We tipped them a couple of weeks ago. They travel to Wigan, who are improved and are doing really well under Roberto Martinez. He does an incredible job there. However, Everton are probably the form side in the Premier League this season. They're scoring goals for fun. They're strong at the back, and under David Moyes, they should be making the Champions League places this year. They had a really good win at Swansea 3-0 or 3-0, Americanised. And then even though they conceded against Southampton at home, they won that pretty easily in the end, 3-1. Fully expect them to go to Wigan and win. It won't be easy, but I expect them to win by 1 or 2 goals. They're available at 11-10. So we take them. I think that's a good price. Anything evens and above with Everton at the moment, if they're not playing one of the top 4 sides, I think it's a good price. So we take them at 11-10. Blackpool, as I said. And the third bet to make up the treble is Stevenage. We're going to League One. Stevenage versus Scunthorpe. At Nathbet.com, we're all about matchups here, and I like to bet the teams in form. Stevenage bang in form. They had a really good win in midweek at Notts County 3-1, whereas Scunthorpe were reversed. They lost 3-1 to Tranmere at home, which was a poor result, really. I just think, obviously, a great result. They're at home. Scunthorpe have got to travel now on the road. Stevenage second in the table. Scunthorpe meandering in the relegation zone. Evens, I think, is a really good price, and that's basically why I'm picking them. I think that's a good price. We take them there, along with Everton, along with Blackpool. That's a 5.5-1 treble with Pinnacle and Blue Square. You'll get 5-1 with most bookmakers. So if you've got the Sky Bet account, if you're taking advantage of that £10 bet, if you've got Ladbrokes, if you've got Stan James, all these free bets are available through nathbet.com. Let's get involved. 5 to 1, like I say, with most bookmakers. Okay, the fourfold now. We've got the double, 2-point double, 1 point for the treble, and it's half a point for the fourfold that I'm recommending. 4 new sides. First of all, Swansea have been a torrid time as of late. They started like a house on fire, but they're really struggling. However, I expect them to get back to winning ways against Reading. Reading had a good performance actually last Sunday against Newcastle. They got a 2-2 draw. However, I just think that their away travels, they still struggle big time. And Swansea, I expect to turn things round. And at home, I think the overdue a win. And I think this is where it'll come against Reading. They're at even money, so we take them as our first bet in the fourfold. The second bet, I said last week actually that we could be tipping this side for quite a few weeks to come, and we tipped them this week. It's West Bromwich Albion. They face QPR. West Brom, good point. They were unlucky. They went 1-0 up at Aston Villa last week. Obviously, difficult Midlands derby. However, they come through that with flying colours. They were the better side. They've got a few injury worries. I think Chris Brunn and a few others, Macaulay, question marks over them. But they're all expected to probably be pass fit for the game. And I think that'll be too much for QPR. QPR in disarray at the moment with Mark Hughes. I think he'll be the first manager to go in the sack race. Spent a lot of money, they've got a lot of new players, and it's not clicking. They lost on Monday night to West Ham. They've had less time to recover than West Brom, and I think that it's just going to be too much for them travelling to the Hawthorns, which is obviously a difficult place to go. West Brom available at 10 to 11, we're taking them there to beat QPR. Third team this week, and they would be my double and treble as well if it wasn't for their midweek exploits. West Ham had a week off. They played Monday night, but Arsenal are the team who I expect to go to West Ham and win. They're playing fantastic football. The side's gelling. Every week they get written off with the selling their players here, there and everywhere. Every week Arsene Wenger proves them wrong, and I think even money to beat West Ham United is a good price. Like I said, I would have them in my double and treble, but the fact that they only played last night, Wednesday night, and have 3 days to recover for some ridiculous reason. They have to play Saturday and not Sunday, so they missed that extra day's rest. But I still expect the quality to come through, and I think they should win. It'll be a tight game, but even money, 5 to 6 about Arsenal, I think is too good to turn down. So we take Arsenal, West Brom to beat QPR, Swansea to beat Reading, and the fourth bet is basically, I looked at League 1 and League 2, didn't find anything. This bet stood out to me. We actually moved to La Liga for the fourth bet, and the El Clasico between Barcelona and Real Madrid. Now, if anyone didn't see the game in midweek, the Barcelona game, and if you're squeamish, don't watch it. Carlos Puyol, who's their main central defender, has been for the last 10 years, magnificent defender, and basically the key in the spine, along with Victor Valdez at the back, to Barcelona's success. Dislocated his elbow, horrific injury, really bad. It's on YouTube at the moment for those people who like that kind of thing. If you want to log on, but it really is bad. I would look away. I wouldn't look at it. Horrible. He's going to be out for about 8 to 10 weeks minimum, along with Gerard Piqué, who's out for the game as well. That's their main 2 centre backs. That's a big hole to fill. The 2 people who are probably going to come into that lineup: Alex Song from Arsenal, if you can remember him. He got sold to Barcelona. He's probably going to play at centre-back along with Javi Mascherano, who many people know from the Premier League as well. Not the most solid defensive duo at the moment, and they've got to stop a Cristiano Ronaldo side who are absolutely on fire for Madrid. Scored another hat-trick in midweek. Went through a bit of a sulk about 3 or 4 weeks ago, saying he was sad. Yeah, I'd be sad with about 100 million in the bank as well. But he seems to have got his mojo back, and obviously he's against Messi and they can score. But Barcelona's record against Real Madrid isn't that great. Real Madrid went there in the Super Cup earlier on in the season, got a good draw. They beat them overall in aggregate, including the game back at the Bernabeu. And I just think that they're going to concede goals with that formation, that lineup. I was going to bet on this as a single bet, to be honest. I wasn't going to include it this week, but I expected them to be about 7 to 4, maybe 2 to 1 Real Madrid, and I still would have bet them. I can't believe the price to over 3 to 1. I think that's an unbelievable price. 3 to 1, 100 to 30 in some places. So we're going to include them in that bet. Normally I won't go La Liga. I'll mainly concentrate on English football, but we include them in the fourfold this week because I just think it's too good to turn down. So just to recap on the fourfold, it's a half a point recommendation. Swansea, West Brom, Arsenal and Real Madrid. That gives us a huge, especially with the Real Madrid odds to pump it up, 31-1 fourfold. That comes in happy, happy days. I don't think it's beyond the realms. And if you just want to include the three, you don't want to go into Spanish football, then I would bet the single and bet Real Madrid as well. But we're going to include it in the fourfold this week. That's a 31-1 fourfold with Stan James and 888.com. I think it's going to come. It's so close to coming together here. We're in profit. We're in plenty of profit. 20% from the start of your bankroll if you've started from the very beginning. We're not going to be here next week. It's International Week. However, do join us on Twitter, on Facebook. If I see some nice prices, I will let you know through them. But as for the video piece, we will be back in 2 weeks' time, hopefully with plenty of profits. All right, guys, have a good one. Take care. And I promise I will be clean shaven in 2 weeks' time. Have a good one, guys. Bye-bye.